What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. Quick video for you guys here. UFC 286 Edwards versus Usman 3. Just a quick recap here, guys. A quick review. Basically, this video is going to be about what I did wrong in the fight. I went 11-3, and there was a 1 draw. But where did I go wrong in those 3 fights? I'm going to explain what I did wrong in that, and talk a little bit about the fights here. But before I get started though, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel, guys, and get these videos out. So I need some likes, I need some subscription, and also check out my Patreon account for all the face-off predictions and prop plays. And you can also donate to my PayPal account. I want to spend more time doing this more full time, so donate, subscribe, enough respect out to the donations. I've been getting donations and Patreon likes and Patreon signups, so it's a good thing. But I need some more thumbs up and subscribe. So basically, this card was a great card, man. Very good card. Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev, fight of the year, man. Best stand-up fight I've seen in a long time. Both guys went back and forward. Rafael Fiziev was more pressure in the fight in the first and second, which I felt Rafael Fiziev slightly could have won this fight too, but I could see where it could go, back and forward. Justin Gaethje, man, he took a lot of body shots, man. Rafael Fiziev was just throwing everything heavy, and Justin Gaethje was throwing heavy too. But Fiziev, got the bad end of that, a lot of cuts over the eye. It just seemed like the damage was more on Rafael's side. He was getting a lot of, I guess the jabs were hitting him, and just a lot of cuts around the eye. But Rafael Fiziev was working Gaethje's body though. He was just body shotting him, body kicks. It was aggressive, man. I mean, every shot, every punch, man, and kick was meant to do some serious damage, man. I mean, this fight here, man, is like one of those fights where it could be a career ending for both guys, man. I believe Justin Gaethje, he said that after this fight, he's just gonna go for the title one more time and probably retire, So these guys went in there 100%, man, 150%, throwing everything, man. Where I went wrong in this fight, keep it nice and simple here, but not basic. Just overall is the experience, man. Justin Gaethje has experience, and I knew this. And I was kind of back in my mind, I was saying, Justin Gaethje could win this fight, even though it's a stand-up fight, and we all think that Rafael Fiziev, yeah, better stand-up guy, but he went in there 100% out the gate. He just shot out like he got shot. It's like he got shot out of a barrel, and it's like it's going 100%. So he kind of burned him. He kind of burned him energy out. So by the time he reached the end of the second, third, he was already tired. So he like went out there full on blast, this heavy everything, bam 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 bam. Like he was throwing the speed and the power behind every shot was just like, man, every punch and kick he landed looked like it really hurt, man, and it probably did. But like I said, man, it's one of those fights where, it's an experience thing. Even though Rafael Fiziev is a good kickboxer, but at the same time, this is MMA, and he has MMA fights, but the experience though, he doesn't have the experience like what Justin have. Justin faced guys who can strike, similar to Rafael Fiziev. Ferguson, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, Daniel Cerrone, Edson Barboza, which is, a good kickboxer too. Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Michael Johnson. So Justin Gaethje has fought champion guys and been there. So that right there, I never really broke it down like that, but I probably should have. And that's where I went wrong. If I did break it down like that, I would have went with Justin Gaethje. And that's where I went wrong. So my correction in certain fights is you got to be careful when you're looking at that guy and thinking that the other guy is just a great kickboxer. Yeah, Rafael Fiziev is a good kickboxer, but MMA is different though. And striking for MMA, boxing for MMA, wrestling for MMA, even the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for MMA inside that cage is different. It's different. So the kickboxing and striking that Justin does is probably specifically more for MMA. And he has experience for that. Rafael Fiziev, I would say his toughest maybe MMA fight is Venato. Bobby Green too, but more Venato for more well-roundedness. Everybody else is just, Magomed Massafor. Yeah, hit him with a spinning back kick. Remember, he got knocked out in that fight. I mean, that shows you just, even though anything can happen, you can always get hurt, but he doesn't have that experience like what Justin Gaethje have. And that's where I went wrong. Need that cage experience, man. Environment makes a difference. Boxing ring compared to cage is two different things, man. And the techniques, is boxing and thing, but it's set for MMA. And you're only going to learn that mostly when you compete, and you compete against top competition. Rafael Fiziev, my bad. Rafael Sanchez too. He's a great freaking MMA fighter. The guy is a good MMA fighter too. I forgot about that. But again, age is a number, but he's not the same like he used to be. And even in that fight, Rafael Sanchez was holding his own. So you understand. So that's why I say I went wrong based off more. It's gonna be a stand-up match, which it was. But the experience, and I was slightly there. That's why I believe I had this fight. 60-40. I had it 60 for Fiziev, 40 for Gaethje. But that's where I made a mistake there. So it's experience, cage experience, and also fighting top competition in MMA. This makes a difference, man. So, yeah. Leon Edwards and Usman. It's just one of those fights where Leon got his card, man. Leon already knocked him out. Leon felt how he felt with all the takedowns in the second fight, which I was going for Leon in the first time I saw this fight. I was going to say Leon Edwards, because Leon Edwards already, he felt the takedowns already, even though he was getting taken down a lot until the 5th round, and then he landed a head kick. But he already done that. He already been there. He felt his energy. So in my mind, I was like, second fight is going to be different. He's going to stop the takedowns. And that's what he did. But then we were more going on looking at Usman's takedown in the second fight. And he was just so elusive and dominant. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things. Don't make him bully you, Leon. Don't make him bully you, man. Leon, son, he bullying you, son. Don't let him bully you. It's like... Yeah, but the third fight wasn't like that, because now Usman was struggling to get the takedowns. Usman couldn't even hold him down, Even in the striking, it's just Usman's feet were sometimes square. He was stuck to step in. He couldn't get to him because Usman's footwork is just, it's not on the level, Leon Edwards is a more well-rounded guy here. And Usman relies a lot. Was relying a lot on his takedowns, his wrestling, because that was his thing. He wasn't a striker, and he wasn't known as much as a striker until recently. Look at all his fights. It was basically or rear naked chokes, arm triangles. Until recently, he started knocking people out with his punches. Maybe he had heavy hands all the time, but he just never really cared about that. He just stuck to his strength. But I'm not saying that he's not a well-rounded guy, but there's levels to it, and Leon is on a different level. Leon is a more well-rounded guy. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels here, and yeah, you can take on a guy if you have good wrestling, but then after a while, if you fight him one time, and you beat the guy, you fight him second time, and the guy knocks you out with a head kick, and the third time, slightly registered in my mind that Leon is going to win this, because it's just he already fought him one time, and the second time he knocked him out, and then he's going to go for the same thing. He's going to try to double leg and single leg him. And the striking is not on the same level. Just a more well-rounded guy. That's it. So that's where I went wrong on that. So it's difficult to break down these fights, guys. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing, man. It's not an easy thing, man. It's there's little holes and loops and little things you gotta go through here, and look at it in a different. You have to analyze in a different way than you would actually do. I was more analyzing it on the second fight. Just you have to pay attention to everything. You have to be aware of all things. The first fight, the second fight. I was more looking at the second fight, but what happened in the first fight? And how did he look in the second fight? Did he look the same way as he did in the first fight? No, because he knocked him out in the second fight. So the third fight, it should ring a bell, like, oh man, he fought him 2 times already, and he's doing the same thing. The only difference that he has a heavier punch, but Leon has a whole bunch of tools in his toolbox. So a guy coming to the fight with the same techniques, wrestling, but only has one heavy punch. Leon has a head kick, spinning back kick. He can set up the jab. He can set up the punch with a kick. You got takedown defense. He can take you down. Yeah, should have rung a bell, right? But not really, because you're looking at it in one aspect. That's why what I'm going to do now, I mean, I know this already because I don't usually do this, but some fights it could get away with you, you know, because you just feel like, oh, which one's going to take him down again? Look at what happened in the second fight. Right? But that wasn't the case. So we learned from that. Barberona fight, that's pretty, you know, good enough in some of them. That's, you know, Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill. Like I said, Jennifer Maia was a big underdog. What I told you about Casey O'Neill. Exactly. Justin Gaethje was a huge underdog too. This is something to look at too, guys. When you see guys like this who are huge underdogs, even Leon Edwards, mostly Justin Gaethje, that's a mistake. You got to question that. Because Fiziev is not even by the numbers, 24-4, 12-2. Fiziev is not the more experienced guy here. Yeah, he's a good kickboxer, and you know, and his great, you know, power when it kicks and his combination, his timing, his speed is on point. But it's MMA. It's MMA. 24-4. It's MMA. Even by the numbers here, but also who Justin has fought. So if Justin's an underdog like that, then something is wrong, man. Let's see here. I think he was an underdog. I think he was. Am I right? Yep. Justin was plus 190. Something's wrong with that. You know, and that's the thing where some people don't catch that. And same thing for Leon. Leon is an underdog too. But people think that Usman is going to destroy him. But look at the first fight and look what happened in the second fight. Shouldn't be that high of a favorite. Sometimes you don't catch these things. You know, sometimes certain fights you look at it very lightly. And you just analyze it as, oh, Usman has just been dominant. He's going to win. It doesn't work that way. You got to analyze it. You got to break it down. And that's why I do the odd breakdowns. Because sometimes I would just analyze the odds on its own after I make my predictions. I don't mix them together. Because it could confuse you know. But even if you're good enough and you can catch it, you'd be like, Usman, Leon Edwards is underdog? There's something wrong. He knocked him out the last fight. Should be more even fight, right? Justin Gaethje is underdog? But hold on, Justin Gaethje has been fighting MMA for a long time and fight top competition. Why is Fiziev favorite? Exactly. 1 or 2 fights you may catch like that every once in a while. Maybe 4, depending on the fight card. Next one here, Casey O'Neill, Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia is an underdog. I caught that one. I actually caught that one. And I maybe didn't have to go through a full breakdown on this fight because I know how Jennifer Maia fight. Jennifer Maia is a more experienced woman here. And I caught it with that one. I just didn't catch it with Leon. I did catch it with Leon too, but I made a decision on Usman. But I was going to choose Leon. And I did see it with Justin Gaethje because I did see it in the predictions. But my choice was more towards the guy that's going to be the better striker here because it's going to be a stand-up fight. You know what I'm saying? So even though the fights were close, both fights were close. It could go either way, to be honest with you. Some people thought Usman won. Some people, I thought that Fiziev should have got the split. But it is what it is. And like I said with Maia the more experienced. Right? This fight is definite. There's there ain't no if and buts about this one. I mean, she beat up Casey O'Neill, man. I mean, I like what I told you guys. Her boxing is better. Her Muay Thai is better. And Casey O'Neill, good example here. This is how we break down fights now, guys. Great example here. Casey O'Neill. Who has she fought? Roxy Medafori. She went to a split decision to Roxy Medafori. There's something wrong with that. And I thought Medafori won that fight. Antonina Shevchenko, you know, she seems like she doesn't want to really fight anymore. And this is an example of a striker who is very good, but she fights mostly kickboxing. She has MMA fights here, but she fights mostly kickboxing and Muay Thai matches. So she's not comfortable. Remember, you know, guys, that cage, when you're in that cage, if you're not comfortable with it, if you don't have the experience in it, you can be as good as you want to be. You can just lose fights by getting taken down and even getting hit by strikes because you're not comfortable in there. But when you go into like an environment like outdoors or you're under a tree or you're in a boxing ring, it could be different because that's what you're used to. Your environment makes a difference, man, in anything you're doing. different environment, it creates different experience for you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're playing the game. So yeah, she hasn't really fought a pound for pound good MMA fighter until Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia was her true test. And from her prior fights here, yeah, she's winning fights and submitting girls. But the girls that she's fighting have no experience either. You understand what I'm saying? I caught that one and I broke it down just like I'm telling you here. That's how I analyzed this fight to come up with Jennifer Maia winning. And Jennifer Maia did exactly what I thought she would do. She didn't even need to get takedown. She was just mixing it up. It's just her striking. I knew that her striking would be too much. You know why I said that? Because the last fight she had, she fought Morena Moroz. She fought Mano Farad, Caitlin Chikagan, even Jessica I was experienced, Valentina Chechenko, who was a champion, and she fought her, and she gave her a hard time. She beat Roxy Metaphor by decision, by unanimous decision. Liz Cormouche, she has fought tough women. Deanna Bennett, Leslie Smith, Jessica Andrade, early in her career. These are early in her career. She has been there, done that, all the way in 20. She started 2009. Casey O'Neill, yeah, she may have some, maybe I believe she has some martial or karate background, but it's completely different, man, when you get in that cage, man. She has an amateur background, 214. You know what I mean? She has fights, but she hasn't fought anybody. She hasn't felt that pressure. She hasn't been through that. She hasn't been through that fire, man. Through the resistance, the struggle of it, to where, oh man, this is freaking. I'm in a deep water right now. I'm kind of like getting destroyed. She went through that with Roxanne Metaphoric, who, this is a girl that she should have beat easily, but she struggled with her. So if you're struggling with Roxanne Metaphoric and you're having issues, what do you think Jennifer Maia is going to do to her? 20-9 with experience, because some people are 20-9 and 2020, whatever you want to say, are big, have a big record. I mean, Roxanne Metaphor is good, and she will submit you, but she struggles with the striking. She's not as well rounded. You understand what I'm saying? Jennifer Maia can throw it down. She's heavy hitting. She's technical with the punching. She got footwork. She slip and go under and land uppercuts. Her timing is on. Her precision. She has a good ground game. Her defense is good. Her offense, she moving a note. You know what I'm saying? She's very experienced, man. You know what I mean? That's why I came up with this fight, and I already knew this. This could have been a confident pick for me. And look at the odds on that. Look at the odds on that. They have Casey O'Neill as a 185. So these are how you find your little dogs, right? Marvin Vettori and Ramon DeLenze. Next fight here. DeLenze is a guy that, is like he fights in spurts. So good ground game, but his striking is not at level. He can't keep a pace with the striking. Marvin Vettori been training at different camps now. Working on his kicks and his boxing. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? Believe he's training with Derek Cooper, the Black Cobra. I think I may have said that wrong, but who fought in like K1 fighting way back. A big K1 fighter way back in the days. He said the guy's a legend. So his name is Dewey Cooper. His name is Dewey Cooper. I want to make sure. His name is Dewey Cooper. They call him the Black Cobra, right? Black Cobra Dewey Cooper. Way back in K1 days, in the kickboxing times, he was a guy who was a pretty good kickboxer. You know what I'm saying? Way back there with the legends, them. I think he had Krokop back there and all this. He was back there with those guys. Remy Banjeski. Just name a few guys there. Remy Banjeski, who else? Oh man, I can't remember all the guys right now, but I mean, you guys get the drift. The guys he's a good kickboxer, so he has been training with them, and you can see it. His jab, bam, the jab, slipping, the countering, he mix up the kicks with the punches. So he was more holding a pace. You know what I'm saying? He's more holding a pace and is more disciplined in his technique. You know what I'm saying? But he was intense with it though. There was still room to add in whatever else you want to add in. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you got to set it for MMA. You know what I'm saying? A guy like Roman Delenze, you know, he's just basically just winging punches. He's like winding up and waiting for the right moment and try to overhand you. You know what I'm saying? And freaking Ventura was just slipping and using his footwork. He was moving in there like Robert Whittaker or Easy, you know, basically did to him. So that's what experience does to you when you fight guys like that, Robert Whittaker's and the Israel Sanos. You're gonna build up on that because you're gonna be like, damn, these guys are hitting me from way out and I can't even hit them. This is frustrating, man. And you know, I'm throwing kicks at them and I'm not even hitting them. They're all the way out there, but they're hitting me anyway. It gets frustrating. So he probably got frustrated and started to take his striking serious, and that's why he's with Dewey Cooper and learn other techniques. So it's a good fight too. Jack Shore and Mark 1. That's exactly what I said. I broke these fights down. I did pretty good on this card. You know what I'm saying? But there's 3 fights I missed, and I saw where I went wrong. And in those 3 fights, I was actually going the other way. And I switched it. Exactly what I said here against Jack Shore and Marquand. He has no striking. And he has a cardio issue. If he can't submit your first round, he's finished. So Jack Shore just kind of felt him out in the first and finished him in the second. That's it. Chris Duncan, Omar Morales, I said the same thing. Omar Morales, seems like he doesn't want it anymore. He's not hungry. You know, he has his skills, but he just can't put it together. You know, this one right here, man, Yanal Ashmoz Sam Patterson. I gave you guys this one, and this guy here, the Yanal, was what? He was a big freaking underdog. He was a big underdog. He was plus 220, and what I gave you guys that one with, and what I did there, that was a what, guys? First round finish, KOTQ, and I gave you guys that one. And the way how I analyze this fight, guys, sure, the guy has a 10-inch reach and all these things. Yeah, reach plays a factor if you can use it. If you can't use your reach and you don't know how to close a distance, also, you don't have no timing. And the technique you put out, you got to bring it back. If you're punching and leaving your technique out there and you have a 10-inch reach, what do you think is going to happen to you? If a guy can time you from the outside, it doesn't matter what reach you have. Because it's like what they do in the karate training, yeah, like a Machido or Stephen Thompson. When you can blitz in and touch your target and blitz back out, if you're the quicker guy there to enter and exit, and you're just gonna throw your punch, but your punch is very slow and you're telegraphing it, I could see it from way out there. Yeah, you know, the guy like Yanal has a short reach, but he's fast, he's quick, he's athletic. Close the distance fast, power in his hands, and is a good wrestler. Sam Patterson lacks like technique in the boxing, and he's slow at the movement. Doesn't react that fast. His reaction time is slow, and his chin is high. So he's most likely he's gonna get knocked out, and that's exactly what happened. You know, hats off to the guy. Hopefully he's okay. You know, it's all love here, guys. We're not here to disrespect any person or anybody, but you know, these are how you break down these fights and analyze them. This, you know, I'm not giving you guys any, this is not like a secret here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be a secret, and maybe I'm just giving away. Maybe I probably shouldn't have done that. Should I make it sign up to my Patreon account? But you know, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it's. I mean, there's more to it than just this, though. I mean, there's other things you have to do also. But there's an example that you can see where a guy like Yanal, you probably say, oh, it's a short guy. You know, I feel Sam Patterson is going to submit him. It's possible he could have submitted him. That's probably his only way to victory. But how is he going to submit him if he can't get to him? How is he going to submit him if he can't tie him up? A guy like Yanal, that guy is super explosive. He goes 0 to 100 quick, and we saw that. He was 0 to 100 quick. He seemed like he's just there, doesn't look like anything. He made the Sam Patterson guy maybe move forward, backwards, make him throw some kicks here and there. And as soon as he winds up for that one move, he knows that you winding up like that, I see that from a distance, but I can close that distance quickly with my punch. That's it. And his lights out. Muhammad Makhachev. Like I told you guys, you know, Muhammad's a good fighter, but this guy, Philo, it's dangerous on the ground. No. People said that, man, you know, he didn't tap to that knee bar. Well, I'll tell you this much. That knee is messed up. That knee messed up, man. Your knee is not supposed to bend like that. Your knee is not supposed to bend like that. That's just it, man. Your knee ain't supposed to bend. All those ligaments, tendons in that knee is all torn up. I mean, is that stupid? Well, people say, yeah, man, he won. You know, he actually lost in my book because his knee's messed up. You know, yeah. I don't know the level of the knee, but or what level the knee is messed up at. You know, like the damage in there, but it doesn't look good, man. You know what I'm saying? Your knee ain't supposed to bend like that. And he said he heard cracking and popping, so that's all things. That's all ligaments tearing up in that knee. Yeah, he could be out for a long while. You don't know. I mean, he's a young guy. He's only 22, so you know. I mean, but your knee ain't supposed to bend like that, bro. Your knee ain't supposed to bend like that, man. Look at that, dude. What the hell? Nah, man. Look at that, bro. Holy shit. That knee's torn up, man. There's no way, dude. And if it's not, that'd be amazing. I mean, there are people who are double jointed. But, I don't know, man. I don't think they're that double jointed, though. Shit, that's... You know, hey, I mean, some guys are sacrificed. That's what they call a sacrifice there. You know, you gave up your knee. And knowing that you know, once you get to the guy back, you can submit him. So it is what it is, though, man. I mean, he actually win, but you know, his knee is messed up. So for some people, that means more. So he's like, oh, you can take my knee, but I won. So you know, hey, everybody's different, man. Lerone Murphy, yeah, is a pretty good fighter. Like I told you guys, the SANTOS guy, you know, Joe Philly and SANTOS, I saw something in them. But I was like, oh, man, this is how I break this down too. I'm like, man, can this guy come in here and beat Lerone Murphy? And I went back to the experience now. This means you got to go into your experience box. You know, I said, you know, but he fought like Makwan Armani, who was just a first round guy anyway. But Douglas Lima Andrade, who was a very good fighter. And Ricardo Ramos and Zabararo, where he went to a draw. So I'm thinking, okay, so this guy, you know what I'm saying, he can get through these guys, then his skills going to get better and better as fight go on. A guy like Gabriel Santos is upcomer 10-0 guy. He hasn't really fought nobody. So that's how I know that Murphy would win, but I knew it would be a close fight. Because this guy, you know, he could make an upset. And same with Philo too. You know, it's close. Christian Duncan, like I told you guys. First round, even though it was a knee injury, and hopefully Dusko knee repairs properly, you know, it's things like that happen, man. Some guys, man, you know, their knee can bend all the way back, all the way back to touch their shoulders, or you know, it touch their stomach. It's like, whoops. And some guy like Dusko, he just take one turn and his knee pop out. So it happens, man. You know, it all depends on the person, man. But like I said, it was a first round finish. Hopefully his knee is okay. It's you know, you sign up for this. You sign there, I sign here. We want to fight, we fight, and whatever happens. That fight, Christian Duncan, CLD, KOTQ in the first round, right? Also had Murphy in decision. Majority of these fights I had the outcome right. Jake Hadley, this is a great breakdown for you guys here. Like what I told you guys, right? With Hadley, right? Exactly what I told you. Malcolm Gordon starts off aggressive, does the same thing almost every fight. Jumps forward and he throws a wild hook. And what I said Jake Hadley is going to do. If Jake Hadley want to win this fight, he's better at the technique. He's better with the boxing. All he has to do now is just counter him. Counter him coming in. And I believe he went to the liver. Something with Marco Gordon, he missed weight. But something like he was peeing out his liver or something like that. Like, wasn't quite really understanding that. But, you know, something, you know, he wasn't healthy for this fight. So, yeah, he just had to counter him. It's the next first round finish for you guys there. Right? Joanne Wood, same thing here. It was a decision win. But again, very close. Luna could have won it. No, Jay Albert here. Jay Albert would have won the fight. And Jay Albert was a what? He was an underdog. But some reason I stepped away for a little bit, and I guess the referee took a point. But he didn't give him a... I don't believe he gave him a warning. I mean, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, leave it on the comment box. You know, did he do this more than one time? God, I believe it was only one time, and the guy took a point. You know, and because Jay Albert would have won the fight. He would have won that fight by unanimous decision. Because like I said, he would have done. He did exactly what I thought he would have done. The reach, the height, the technique. His technique is more sharper. Klein relies on that head kick. Jerry Herbert has more experience. Kind of similar to Leon Edwards. They have more experience. Yeah, Klein can strike, but he relies a lot on one throwing some punch just to set up that head kick, and that's it. And he will go for takedown, but he struggles with it, and then he will gas himself out, and that's exactly what happened. So J.R. Herbert, if the referee didn't take that fight, he would have won. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people had Klein. With this fight here, man, I am, you know, I kind of took this one to heart. I'm just kidding, guys. But like I said, man, Veronica did a good job in this fight. Dan Hardy. Sorry, guys. Dan Hardy. I said Greg Hardy. Veronica did a great job. She actually surprised me, man. I mean, we haven't seen her in 3 years, supposedly. And she came back in there a whole freaking... She's a completely different fighter than what we saw in our last couple of fights. She's a completely different fighter. Whatever Dan Hardy did, I know he been working on her, but whatever he did, or her camp, or whatever they did mentally, she did a freaking... Like I said, you can always come back from mental things, man. From concussion, you can always come back. You just have to believe in yourself, though. Believe that you have the tools. Believe in your skills. It's all about the belief. Feel it. And she seems to be feeling it, man. And she did an amazing freaking job. Again, this is a fight where I said it. She's very experienced, but she doesn't seem consistent. And even though she has the tools, and she does have the tools, she has the taekwondo background, and she has the ground game, and she has the precision and timing, she has the in and out motion, kind of like Stephen Thompson or Robert Whitaker. She has that flow. But man, she looked good in this fight. She looked good in this fight, and she looks good overall. But she looks good in this fight, man. I mean, she did a very good job. And it just shows that, you know, you can always go back and make changes and come back with greatness. And she sure did. She sure did, man. I mean, I was surprised in a lot of things she was doing. Her composure, you know, the will to not break, because she was sometimes breaking the fight. Her submission defense, her takedown defense, just, you know, and she taking you down, and mostly her conditioning. Her cardio was on point. Her conditioning was on the top level. I mean, it was amazing, man. I mean, she put on a really good fight, and a good win for her, right? As far as her opponent here, Juliana, you know, Juliana is more of a brawler here. She run forward, but she's more known for her ground game. But she will still throw the hands, and definitely she landed shots on Veronica. But Veronica came in here super in shape, super on point. Her footwork gave Miller problems. Mostly was Veronica's footwork and the ability to keep the movement without getting tired was the most important thing about Veronica. I've seen a lot of her fights, she would get tired, right? But she seemed like she was in great shape. It seemed like she could win 5 rounds. But her movement is what gave Juliana problems. Juliana wasn't able to reach to her, you know, and again, a girl like Juliana was not really a good striker. You know, she was running toward her. Veronica would sidestep her. You know, she just couldn't keep up. You know, and she was trying to throw punches and kicks, and it was just like missing. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have footwork like that, if you don't know how to engage the opponent with the footwork, you're just gonna be missing all night, and you can get sidestepped. Yeah, and you're not gonna be in range. You have to be in relationship. You have to be in rhythm with that person. And if you don't understand how to move, like how are you gonna touch your opponent? Like how are you gonna get to your opponent? It's kind of like dancing. You have to be in rhythm with your partner that you're dancing with. And if you're unable to keep in rhythm and keep that flow, then how are you gonna keep up? And that was a problem. Juliana didn't have that rhythm. She didn't have that footwork. No, she could throw some punches and possibly touch her, you know, and touch Hardy every once in a while. But to consistently do it is going to be hard. It's going to be a problem because she doesn't have those tools. The grappling game is different, but again, she needs the footwork to basically hold her down and get her in that position. Instead, Hardy was taking her down. Hardy was beating her up at what she was good at. Because Hardy already had to strike. I already knew Hardy's striking was going to be good. But it's just that if Hardy could keep that pace. I didn't know because she hasn't been here for 3 years. So I don't know what Hardy's going to be shown. I don't know what Hardy's going to come here. Is she going to come better than how she was? Does she have the ability, the capability to change and better her techniques and better the movements and everything like that? I don't know because I haven't seen her. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen her in 3 years. But she shows that she can. So if she keep that up, then you just never know. She can go far, right? So that's about it there, guys. That's my good win for these guys here, and that's my, that's my review here and what I did wrong in the fights and what changes I can make. With the Veronica fight here, what I did wrong here. It's kind of the same thing. You look at Juliana Miller. Yeah, she did the Ultimate Fight tough. But she ain't really fighting nobody, and a lot of grappling matches. But the fight starts standing up, and Juliana doesn't have the good striking. Veronica has the movement, the footwork, the capability to close the distance and get out of there quickly without getting touched or taken down or grappled. And so that's where I went wrong. Mostly the experience, but again, also there was a little kind of a gap there in 3 years of fighting, and from what I've seen from Hardy here, last fight against Baymalik, she's a long girl, but this is a girl that I feel that, that Hardy could have beat. Not taking anything away from Bay, she's an okay fighter too, but she got long and she got the reach and everything like that. But I feel like this is a girl here. She should have put away or, done the similar thing like what she did to Juliana. But that wasn't the case, so that's why I was more going towards Juliana here. But this one's more a tough one. But that's about it there, guys. Just a quick review there. I think it's quick. One love out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? You guys check out my other channel there I have, my Wayne Getcha channel, which a link will be down below too. Subscribe to this channel. I need more subscription, guys. I need more thumbs up, man. Get these videos out. 11 and 3. Come on, man. I'm just going to get better and better. I'm just going to get better and better. What's the next fight here? Coming up, UFC Fight Night in 5 days. Vera versus Sanahan. Oh, nice. This is a good little card here, guys. 13 fights in the card. We got Holly Holm versus Yanis. Oh, interesting. All these women are changing their last name, huh? I know because they're married, so it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Nate Landry. Oh, this is a good little card here. Angela Lee, Macy Barber, Alex Perez. Oh, Alex Perez and Manuel Cape. Ooh, that's gonna be a good one there. Chetty versus Albert. Ooh, this is gonna be a good. Oh man, guys, this is a good card, man. Steve Peterson, Trevin Gal, Cesar Varga, Manuel Torres. All right, this is a good little card here, guys. Yeah, man, this is a good little one here, man. I'll work on this one for you guys too. So that's about it there, guys. Guys, keep on kicking. One love out to everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Hit up the Patreon. All love towards you guys. All love for everybody, regardless if you donate or not. But love out to everyone. And guys, keep on kicking. And os.